Welcome to the Heroes Blueprint podcast. I am so excited to be back. As many of you might have realized, there was no episode last week, and just for full transparency, I completely fell into a rut, but I also made a huge mistake. I did not record any episodes before I launched this podcast, and I was just recording episodes and releasing them every week. Whereas, unfortunately, I didn't listen to people when they told me you should have about 5 to 6 episodes pre-recorded before you actually launch a podcast in case stuff happens, like you get sick, like you fall in a rut, or guest scheduling issues come up. That is exactly what happened with me. And I did not have an episode last week, and I was in a little bit of a rut where I didn't feel like I had anything really important that I could touch upon, and I kind of took that time to kind of reevaluate, recalibrate, get back in the swing of things, and here we are, and we're back. So for anyone who messaged me asking where's the episode, I'm still planning on releasing every Monday at 5 p.m. As of right now, I should have a guest for next week's episode, which will be very exciting, but especially in March, we have so many incredible guests coming on the show, and I cannot wait for you guys to hear some of these conversations that I know are going to be fantastic. But for today's episode, it's going to be another short one, but it's going to be about one of the most important things that I think exists in today's society, which is personal branding. Now, personal branding is something that you might have heard of before. It's been talked about a lot in recent years, but I think that personal branding has kind of become one of those terms that's like, either it applies to you or it doesn't apply to you. So that's why I want to bring up personal branding today, because personal branding is for everyone. It's not just for influencers. It's not just for YouTubers. It's not just for people that have podcasts. A personal brand is for anyone. It's for plumbers. It's for realtors. It's for small business owners. It's for teachers. It is legitimately for absolutely everyone. And the reason why it's for everyone is because, and this is not my terminology, this is from somebody who is named Rory Vaden, R-O-R-Y, Vaden, and I highly suggest you guys look him up because he is like the master at personal branding. A personal brand is really the digitization of your reputation. One more time. Personal branding is the digitization of your reputation. And now, I love that because everything is online nowadays. Absolutely everything is online nowadays. Even if you're really not online, somebody could find your business online. Somebody could find your name online. Somebody could find your social media profiles. Somebody could find absolutely everything about you. So personal branding is really you taking control of your reputation online. Now, in that term, how I just said that, you could probably see why it is actually important for you to pay close attention to your personal brand. Because how people perceive you online is going to influence whether or not they do business with you, whether or not they buy something from you, whether or not they reach out to you. For example, if you type in a school online and you're trying to find a school for your kids to go to, and the first thing that comes up on Google about this school is that it is awful, it's got a 2-star review, how likely is that to influence your decision about sending your kids to that school? Very heavily. We use the online space, we use Google, we use reviews, we use all of these different variables in order to make decisions. So that's why putting an emphasis on building your personal brand is so important, because it's going to influence how other people perceive you, and not only perceive, but also decide whether or not they want to do something with you. So taking control of your personal brand, what does that actually mean? Well, it means stepping into what makes you unique. I said plumbers earlier. Now, there's a million plumbers, and I'm going to talk about in the United States. There's a million plumbers. I don't know the exact number, but what is it that makes each plumber unique? You might type in plumbers near me on Google, or you might know a plumber. What is it that makes that plumber unique? Why is it that you choose the plumber that you choose? If you're like me, there's probably a couple of different variables. Number one, probably the price. What are their rates? And then secondly, what is their reputation? Has this company had good things said about them? Were they referred to me by somebody? Have I heard good things about them? Do they have good reviews online? And three, do I trust them? That's kind of going to be the deciding factor. If the price is good, if the reputation is good, do I trust them? Right? Now, let's say that somebody, this plumber that you're potentially about to hire, hasn't taken control over any of those things. They don't really care about what other people think about them. They don't care about online. They don't care about any of this stuff. And you look them up and there's no information about them. But then there's a competitor that's right down the road that has all of their information online, has the reviews posted, their testimonials, has who they are. Again, you're more likely to go with the person that you can kind of put a face to and kind of can relate to than you are to the person who doesn't have anything online. So going back to why it's important for you to take control over your personal brand and how you can actually take those steps to do it. Get really clear on what it is that you do. So maybe you're a teacher. Maybe you're a car mechanic. Maybe you're a realtor, small business owner, whatever the heck you are. Get really clear on what it is that you do. And now I want you to ask, why is it that you do what you do? And I'm not talking about the simple answer, I needed this a job, or I just fell into this career. I want you to go deep into it. Why is it that you are still doing this job? Why is it that you are doing what you do? Because look at, that is one of those things right there, those questions that makes you unique. And people want to know who the heck you are, because when people can see themselves in you, that's going to make them more likely to trust you and want to work with you, be friends with you, do business with you. Let me just say that one more time. When people know about you, they're more likely to trust you, want to do business with you, and be friends with you. So when people know your why, when people know why you're doing what you're doing, when people know who you are, what you're interested in, what you like, all these things that you might not be thinking of are very important, because that's what's going to let other people know who you are and why they should work with you. So why is it that you do what you do? Because look at, if you're a teacher, and let's say your why is, well, I wanted to make a really big impact on kids because I had a really good teacher that impacted my life when I was younger, and they really changed the trajectory of my life, and I want to give that same privilege to other people. Think about that for a second. Let's say a parent is looking for a tutor, and they're looking at all these tutors near me, and they stumble across all these different profiles, and they're all saying the same thing. I specialize in this, specialize in that, pricing. And then they come across your profile, and your profile is the only one that says, I want to make, it says exactly what Sora just said. I had a teacher that changed the trajectory of my life, and I want to do the same thing for students. Let's say you're the only person that has something like that on their profile. Do you see how people who see that would be so much more inclined to want to work with you because you put your why on there? And a lot of people think that stuff doesn't matter. But again, a personal brand is the digitization of your reputation. All of these components that make you who you are. Putting that online in a way that humanizes you and that showcases people who you really are and not just another number is what is going to set you apart from absolutely everybody else. Let's put this in a realtor sense. There are so many realtors, and that's a highly competitive field. Let's say you really put an emphasis on personal branding. And let's say that you really get clear on, okay, I know why I'm in this space. How can I let other people know why they should work with me instead of everyone else? Well, when people are home buying, what is it that they're looking for? And I'm not talking about just in terms of houses and pricing. What's somebody's why for when they're searching for a house? Well, there's probably a lot of different components in that. Let me break that down, what I mean. When people are buying a house, they're not just looking for a house. They're looking for security. They're looking for someplace where they can build a future, potentially raise a family. They want to make sure that the neighborhood is safe. They want to make sure that the area might go up in value, so that way that, later down the road, 20, 30 years, they can sell the house or give it to their kids and it'll have an increase in value. So these things right there, these deeper whys on home buyers, when a realtor says, I want to help homeowners searching for houses feel secure, show them why they can build a future, show them why houses are more than just houses, but someplace where magic happens and life happens. If you can create a story and showcase that to people online, that you care about that, you care about why people are really looking for a house, then people are going to be more inclined to want to do business with you. I know I didn't articulate that the best. So let me reframe that real quick. If all of these realtors online are just saying, work with me in order to find your dream house, that's kind of like the common thing when you search online for a realtor. But then you stumble across some realtor's profile that says, my biggest mission in life is to make sure that you find a house that you can see your future in, raise a family, and is safe, secure, and has you feeling like this is the one for you forever. When somebody has that on their profile, instantaneously, they're going to be more inclined to trust you. And also, let's say you add some testimonials from other people, from other clients. Right there, you are putting yourself ahead of everyone else. So personal branding, again, in the most basic terms as possible, a personal brand is who you are, why it is that you do what you do, and just telling people that online and making that clear. Make it clear why you are unique. Let people know why it is that you do what you do. Let people know that you care about their reasons for whatever it is they're searching for. If they're searching for a plumber, highlight the fact that you know it's an industry where trust doesn't come easily. You know it's an industry where people sometimes can be fishy and sell snake oil and lie and scam. All of those concerns that people have about whatever industry you work in, give them the reasons why you understand and why you care about making sure that those concerns are not an issue if they work with you. Answer all of those questions they might have online, on your profile, on whatever, your website, and you are going to set yourself apart from a bunch of other people. I really hope this was helpful. And I'm going to do a deeper dive on personal branding later on. Potentially, I'm working on a webinar right now because I know personal branding isn't something that you can just talk about in, 13 minutes. But I wanted to get something out there to really express the reasons why personal branding is important and why you should put an emphasis on it. And no matter who you are, like I said, we use the example of a plumber, teacher, realtor, whoever the heck you are. It never hurts to make sure that your reputation online is true to who you are. And one final little thing that a lot of people don't think about. Tell people what you're interested in. You might say, oh, people don't care what I care about. Let me tell you something. If you're a realtor and you love Star Wars, put a little snippet that you love Star Wars online. Because guess what? If somebody's shopping for a house and they stumble across your profile and they are like the biggest Star Wars nerds ever, you just gave them an arm that they could extend out to and relate to you with. And when people can relate to you, they trust you more than others. I mean, think about it. When you find somebody that is into the stuff you're into, how much easier is it to pick up a conversation with them? How much easier is it to feel like you kind of get them? How much easier is it to kind of build trust? So it's important to let people know what you're interested in. If you're into sports, put that on there. Because then guess what? People that are into sports are going to be more likely to want to work with you than somebody who doesn't have their into sports. If you're into Star Wars, you're into movies, Harry Potter, put that on your profile. And don't worry about being unprofessional. I think that's one of the biggest things in personal branding that a lot of people don't get is they think that personal branding means that you have to maybe be unprofessional, but being professional is being honest and authentic. Let me say that again. Being professional is being honest and authentic. If you're not showcasing exactly who you are, exactly why it is that you do what you do, exactly how you can help someone, who you are, the person behind the screen. If you're not doing that, you're doing the customer and yourself a disservice, because you're making it more likely that not only is that customer maybe not going to be the one that you want to work with, but you're also making it more likely that you're going to attract people that you just aren't in alignment with. There's more room for issues. So make sure you're expressing your true self online. You're answering those questions that people might have and those concerns before they even understand that they have them. And you're letting people know what makes you you. Send me a message on Instagram at Joey De-Paola. Send me a comment on this show if you're listening on Spotify. Let me know any questions you might have. joedcoaching@gmail.com about personal branding, and I will 100% respond to you on however I can help. If this episode was helpful, if this podcast has been helpful for you in any way, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It really helps when attracting other people. My podcast is kind of like a personal brand in itself. It's my personal brand. So when you guys leave reviews for the podcast, it kind of is showcasing to other people like, hey, I can probably trust this show and give it a listen. So whenever you guys leave reviews, it just helps other people to find this show and add value to more people around the world. Thank you all for tuning in and for listening. I love you all, and I look forward to hearing your messages and answering your questions. And I look forward to, I don't know what I look forward to. I look forward to the rest of this week. God bless you all. Take care.